Alright, welcome back to Big Rooster 420 channel on products, paraphernalia, bud reviews, growing, laws, and all things 420. In later episodes to come, we'll build a greenhouse, we'll plant seeds, and monitor the growing from seed to weed, and then we will give a review on the crop yield and smokability. If you like this channel, subscribe and give it a thumbs up. Nothing to download, and subscription is free. I have a disclosure. I have a medical marijuana card and a PPL in my state. Smoking, growing, and possession is legal for me as long as I buy it at a dispensary, I have it in its original bottle, have a receipt, and I don't use it when I'm driving or operating equipment, and I keep it in a locked case when it's not in use. On a good note, I like to lock it in my case. If I'm out doing something and someone breaks in, my weed will probably be protected. Unless they take the whole box, and then that's a whole nother story. So let's get into today's episode. Tonight's bud review. More Cowbell, 23.29% THC and 0 CBD, It's a 50-50 hybrid and is greenhouse grown. This means it was grown in regular soil like in a greenhouse. It has a more earthy taste to it versus other buds have a more cleaner taste because they are grown hydroponically instead of in soil. I wanted to try it. It reminded me of an old SNL skit with Blue Oyster Cult from 1976 with Walken. Everyone needs more Cowbell. Don't feed a reaper. This stuff really surprised me at what it brought to the table. It stays a little more moist than the hydroponic stuff. I've had it, 4 or 5 days so far, and it's still moist. I mean, it's not all the way moist like it was, but it stays moist a whole lot longer. Usually by now, hydroponic stuff will be dried out. But that's what the bud looks like. Nice bud. Breaks up pretty good. I use my grinder for this one. It has a lot of little crystals on it, and they fall off down in my bottom chamber. So my little grinder here is really good for, catches it there, and all the little particles fall down into the bottom on the screen, makes up your keef, and that stuff is usually something you smoke every 4 or 5 months or so because it takes a long time to get any keef. Sometimes I tried it right afterwards, and you only get like a hit or two. It's not too much, and that's off of about 4 grams, so you don't get much keef off of that. But the stuff smokes real good, it's just really incredible. It's pretty smooth. It just has that earthy taste to it. Like in the old days when you used to get the older stuff, and everybody grew it outside then. Very few people did it inside. So you always got that real earthy taste, and it held the moisture. And even though it's a little lower percentage, it gives you the same effects of something with, 4 to 5, maybe 6 more percent that's hydroponic. So growing it in soil is a much better way to go. Your stuff, your medical marijuana, just turns out a whole lot better. Anyway, this summer we're going to start producing some bud collection and stuff like that. So I will keep my viewers up to date on the release date and when that's going to happen and all that stuff. So let's do tonight's laws and news. I subscribe to Tom Angell. I will relay marijuana rules and news as it comes available, and I get his little newspaper thing by Gmail, and I read through it and pick out the best stuff and bring it to the viewers. Really, most of the stuff pops out as important. So Welcome to Marijuana World of News and Laws. In Virginia, the Senate, they demanded a marijuana legalization bill that was introduced by the governor. A poll found that 68% of Virginia voters support legalization of marijuana. The Washington House Commerce and Gaming approved a bill to legalize home cultivation of medical marijuana. In North Dakota, Republican lawmakers who oppose legalization of marijuana has filed a bill to do just that. Meanwhile, House committees will consider a bill to legalize and tax marijuana. You know, we should have the same rights as alcohol. Plain and simple. Rhode Island House Speaker discussed considerations for legalizing marijuana this year. Everybody's getting on the bandwagon. A Kansas governor, Laura Kelly, announced the new plan to legalize and use the revenue to fund Medicaid expansion. Finally, people are getting the hint about the benefits of marijuana. On the downside, government will get deep into the pockets of the users and make it an ugly thing. They always do that. The government has to take it all. They took the land from the Native Indians. They took the silver and the gold, the minds of the people, and started a war with the South for control. You know, made your Second Amendment right a privilege. That's all. Because they can take it away. Trust me, they will get it all, every dime, all the tax, and most of all, complete control. If you think I'm kidding you, go to Wikipedia and type in the Civil War, the American Indian War, the Gold Rush, World War II, any major event that our government was involved in, and you'll find out all about the government we vote in. New Jersey Senator Cory Booker tweeted, "The war on drugs has really been a war on the people." Well, that's how a government works. If they can't control it, they declare war on it. We'll get it one way or the other. In my home state of New Mexico, our great governor, Michelle Lujan Grisham, said she is optimistic the state can boost its economy by legalization of marijuana this year. State Majority Leader is also feeling more confident about getting it done in 2021. Senators filed 2 bills with more on the way soon. Governor Michelle Grisham is pressing lawmakers to legalize cannabis this year. Go get it, Governor. Get it done in 2021. Our great governor said, "I have no interest in another year of thousands of New Mexicans eager to work and make their future in this industry being told no, just because that's easier than doing the hard work to say yes." This is why she makes a great governor. She knows what's smart, and she handled our virus situation pretty top notch, my wife and I felt. It's the people that won't listen. National news. Aruba's government is accepting proposals to grow and process medical cannabis. Didn't they already process marijuana? Australia's Minister for Trade, Tourism and Investment introduced a bill to streamline medical cannabis licensing and remove regulatory barriers. Now the whole world's getting in on the industry. Science and Health. A study found that most older adults with hypertension, cannabis treatment for 3 months was associated with a reduction in 24 hours of the systolic and diastolic blood pressure values. Tough word. I had a stroke, so some words are kind of hard to enunciate. A study showed that easier access to cannabis for pain may reduce opioid use for both public and private drug plans. Yes, drug companies should allow you to purchase a certain amount of marijuana instead of a certain amount of opioids. They will find out that the marijuana helps their patients better than the opioids. The only problem is the big pharmacies Big Pharma will not like that. In business, Canadian retailers sold $261.4 million worth of legal marijuana in November of 2020. Lil Wayne's Cannabis brand is expanding into Colorado. My plug of the week, one of my local dispensaries, Urban Wellness on San Mateo in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The staff is always polite and helpful. The products are good quality at a reasonable price. Word of the day. Glyptic. The part of the speech, it's an adjective. Its origin is French during the 10th century. Definition of or concerning carving or engraving. To put it in a sentence, the table was covered in intricate glyptic designs. See, not all marijuana users are stupid. Some of us have a high-functioning disability or two. Studies show some of us have higher IQs than non-marijuana users. Dumb criminals. A convict in Florida tattooed the state of Florida in between his eyes. In other words, he should have put a big L. Common sense alert, dumbass. Why would you do that? Can you imagine this idiot trying to get away from 5-0? Here I am, the dumbass with the tattoo. This is the best Florida can do, people. Our final segment, this country bumpkin star dropped by labels and will not be able to accept any awards. Well, this is what alcohol does. Turns a dumbass into a belligerent dumbass. If he would have been high, he probably would have said, "Hey bro, get me a fucking sandwich." Well, that'll do it for today's episode. Until next time, stay safe, don't trust the government, smoke medical marijuana for your mental health. The mind you save could be your own. If you like our content, subscribe and give it a thumbs up. Nothing to download and subscription is free. Thank you for reviewing today's episode. Remember, marijuana is more than your friend, it's your bud. So without further ado, it's howdy doobie time. This is Big Rooster, over and out.